Hey guys, Red Rook here. We're going to talk about films we watched in 2017.
Happy New Year!
Yes, Happy New Year.
We're going to start with Carlos over here. And this isn't like our favorite films or anything like that, just films we want to discuss that don't often get discussed. So we probably won't, I don't think anyone's going to pick any comic book movies or anything like that, right? That we talked about? Or anything we've also done, like Baby Driver.
That.
Or anything.
Wonder Woman was awesome in the story. That's about it.
Y'all all seen that. We're going to talk about some other stuff probably. Yeah. So we're going to start with Carlos. Unless Carlos had one.
So we were talking about which movies we want to do, and none of this was parameters or guidelines, so I'm going to break everything you just said. So
okay, that's fine.
Yeah, do your own thing.
Alright, so fave movie was Baby Driver.
So you just starting your day, or did you just get off?
They call, I go, you know.
So what is it you do?
That was great. And I know we already talked about it in previous films, but I cannot iterate how much I loved it.
They might not have seen it. It's not on YouTube anymore, so.
Well, it doesn't matter.
So, you're good. Let's talk about it. Talk about it.
Baby Driver. So, Edgar Wright's one of my favorite directors. Not only does he use sound, he uses sense, everything else. Sound, visuals, makes you feel anticipation, makes you feel everything you can in a movie.
It's the one who say listen to the music all the time?
Is he mental?
Mental meaning slow. Was he slow?
No.
He had an accident when he was a kid. Still has a hum in the drum. Plays music to drown it out. And that's what makes him the best.
Whoa, 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 whoa!
And I recently saw a YouTube video and said stuff that you missed on Baby Driver. And there was a lot of visual cues that you would never have noticed watching it the first time through.
Oh, okay.
So actually, you know, in the beginning when he's walking towards the coffee, to get the coffee stuff?
Yeah.
Like the actual song, the lyrics are written in graffiti. When you walk by.
I thought I did notice that, but that could just...
It was like the whole song.
Yeah.
So it was actually graffitied, and then...
I thought I did, but I might not have.
That's a lot of visual cues, and I just loved it. So that's one of my favorite movies of the year. I love it.
What did you dislike about it, though? There's probably something you didn't like about it you thought could made it better.
On the dislike, I mean, I hated Jamie Foxx, but that's because he's a great actor.
Yeah.
I was supposed to hate him.
Yeah, that's true.
True.
You kind of hate his character. He did a really good job making you...
Yeah.
But yeah. He probably would have made a great professional wrestler, one of those guys that make everybody hate them, you know, and the crowd boo him. I think he'd be awesome.
You mean
with
a
that.
heel?
The heel. Well done!
Yeah, good job.
Yeah, thank you. I learned something last year. I think the biggest thing I can think of is John Berthenol, who was the Punisher.
Oh,
he
yeah.
wasn't in it enough. I thought it was
True.
going to be
Could
more.
have been in a little bit more.
That's a good point. I did enjoy
That
his
was the
character.
glow reference y'all just made a minute ago, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay,
also.
yeah, it took a second, but anyway, I got it.
Yeah, well, what I liked about that film a lot was the fact that John Hamm's character switched on you, and it was believable in the film. Like, it didn't feel like forced when his character kind of changed. It felt like something that his character would do.
But don't forget, that was already foreshadowed when his wife was like, hey, you know, when he's... Don't let him see red on you, or don't...
Yeah, something
Yeah.
about that, about rage that he has. But
Yeah.
that's what I mean. He did a good job writing the film and directing it to make it feel, and John Hamm did a good job acting that made it feel like it was a natural progression of his character. Because a lot of times when the character changes like that, you feel like it's forced, and you're like, why would he have this motivation? And
Yeah.
Time to face the music.
So I really do with that about the
So
film.
foreshadowing on a lot of our films that we're going to discuss, where something that a character does that doesn't make any sense, and then ruin the film.
That's true. That's true. All right, yeah. So Baby Driver, that was a good movie. I think we all liked that one.
Well, we all liked it,
Yeah.
yeah, definitely.
So we're gonna go
Continue.
on
What else?
to
We're not doing three or
No, we're gonna
okay, we're
one-
gonna
one-
rotate.
one-
Hey, that's cool. Okay, if you know me at all, you know it's really hard for me to choose favorites. So I spent like a long time trying to prepare for this and narrow it down, and I really couldn't. So I'll just say real quick, Get Out was awesome. Probably just not my favorite of the year. What else did I say? Lady Bird was freaking awesome. But my two, Star Wars, cool, awesome. But My two favorites, they're a tie because I couldn't pick. My two favorites were between Three Billboards and Molly's Game. Just freaking awesome. And I was nervous about Molly's Game because I had such high expectations. Like, my expectations were through the roof. As soon as I saw the preview, I was like, this is the movie I wish I had written.
I'm Molly Bloom. Do you know about me?
You know, if you've ever had that moment before. But, I mean, it was, of course, awesomely written, and Aaron Sorkin's directorial debut, which did not disappoint at all. Amazing. She did a great job. I love the fact that the player X, who's like the asshole poker player that she doesn't actually identify in the movie, I love that they pretty much made it clear and confirmed my suspicion that it was Tobey Maguire. I've always thought he was probably a pretty big asshole. So that was fun. And then Three Billboards.
Oh, I have a question
Amazing.
though about Molly's Game.
Okay, go. I go like back and
We're
forth.
still discussing, yeah. But she already named like 10 movies.
I know, that's what I'm like.
Let's just work about Molly's Game, and we'll go back to some other stuff later.
Okay. Well, that was my two. That was my tie. But okay.
Well, Molly's Game, I was curious about. So Aaron Sorkin, he's had a lot of great directors that has taken his film.
Right.
American President.
Absolutely. Yeah. But this was the first one he
Network,
directed.
The Social Network.
Social Network, David Fincher, you know.
Yeah.
So did he follow any of those actual, like, did he follow those actual directors, like their style?
It kind of did, you know, like it felt very Aaron Sorkin, you know, with the writing, so that he stayed true, but he did have kind of a David Fincher feel.
Like the dialogue, was the dialogue very
Snappy,
intelligent?
super intelligent
Like way
dialogue.
smarter than like normal people would actually
Absolutely.
talk?
He made a lot of references, which he normally does, to other, you know, books, movies, and a lot of that could have come from her book. I don't know that the movie's based on. I haven't read it, but it was very witty dialogue.
So no fart jokes.
Walk and talk?
No.
They
They did walk and
They
talk.
did walk and talks.
Yeah, they did.
The Sorkin walk and talks.
They did the Sorkin walk and
He's
talk.
not like the only person that's ever done
A
that.
lot.
Somehow that just became what he's known for.
I mean-
People walking and talking.
I mean, Idris Elba should star in anything Aaron Sorkin writes because he's perfect for it. I mean, he does the walk and talk several times throughout, and was it Jessica Chastain? She was the one that started. Yeah, I always get her confused with someone else. I don't remember who at the moment.
It's
but
one of those. She's one of
Yeah.
those actors, like, she does great and then you forget what she's
she's
in.
so good that she disappears into a role and you forget. So anyway,
So,
that was really good.
what else, like I asked him, is there something in the movie that would have made it better if they had changed it?
You know, for me being the poker buff, I would have appreciated maybe just a few more poker scenes because that's just me. But I could see how and why he did not do that. So.
Okay, so I'm up next, and the movie I'd like to talk about is The Foreigner with Jackie Chan.
Give me the names off the bones.
I've never heard about that one.
I really want to discuss this film because most time when action stars get older, they still want to do action movies that feel like their young, fit selves.
Liam Neeson.
Yeah. Well, Liam Neeson can pull it off because of his voice, but what I was thinking was like Harrison Ford. As much as I love Harrison Ford, we don't need another Indiana Jones movie. After Crystal Skull, we saw he doesn't move like he used to.
Right.
And that was 10 years ago.
So what was really awesome about
That made me feel really old.
The Foreigner was the fact that he did like stuff with his mind more than just kicking the crap out of people. It was a bunch of like he would set booby traps.
Oh, I
And,
mean, like psychics. So.
He
You
would
didn't see it?
he put at one point he goes into an office and they're like, we have to check the bag you have, and it's just a grocery bag full of just regular stuff you get at the grocery store. And then later on he goes in the bathroom, uses that stuff to make a bomb, and then walks out. It was really cool, fun stuff like that.
It was really cool.
It was exciting. I liked the twists and stuff. What's his name was great as the villain.
He's an old man running circles around the lot of us. He's ahead of us every step of the way.
Open it up.
I really freaking enjoyed that film, and I hope Jackie Chan does some more stuff like that. That was very exciting. Plus, Jackie Chan is one of the most
Jackie Chan's
talented
awesome.
people in action film history, so we all know who he is. So
Was there anything you disliked or would have changed about the film?
It dragged at one point. They got to this point where they knew he was after them, and they went to this house in the country to hopefully, hey, we're not going to be attacked if we go here. He doesn't know here.
I like that.
And there was a good 15, 20 minutes before anything else happened.
It was building tension.
I guess it was building tension. It didn't feel like it was building tension. Felt like just boring. Just people waiting around for something to happen instead of nothing happening. But when something happened, it was cool.
See, I thought you were going to say not enough Thor in it. I thought that was your disappointment.
I don't need Thor in everything. Just all the Marvel movies. At least I don't need him shirtless like some people.
What?
So, Carlos, what's your next film on your list there?
I went from disappointed to hating this movie. Disappointed, hating, and never gonna see again in the rest of my life, unless it's covered by rip tracks, is The Last Jedi.
Really?
Yes.
When I found you, I saw raw, untamed power. And beyond that, something truly special.
It was fun.
I hated it so much.
Okay, this should be fun because she really enjoyed it.
I
was indifferent towards it.
It was not a perfect movie.
And now he hates it. So
disappointment.
Let Carlos go
no,
first.
I'm gonna say I'm good. I was gonna say I have to see what Carlos says.
Disappointment to hatred of it. Not only the fact, and you and I already discussed this, but not only the fact that a lot of questions were like, hey, we might be talking about this, like where Luke's lightsaber came from, how they got it from Bespin, how Rey and all that stuff, where she sees it. Look at him. He can't even contain himself. Anyways, everything that they alluded to, and admittedly, we already talked about that it's going to be the fanboys. We're creating all these questions. They're building it up for the past 2 years, whatever. But they specifically said on Force Awakens, they're going to come up with all this stuff. There was no actual story to go on with it. They're going to try to see what they can work on in the next 2 films. Where Rian Johnson just said, I'm going to do my own thing. And I hated the casino side story. Made no sense.
Was long and boring.
And I said an anime person like totally wrote it because it was like cute little furry animals. They rescued them. Yee! Whatever. Hated it a lot.
Yeah.
And everything just reflected. And it's salt. Like, I know we've seen a lot of people say that. Like, that's fine.
How would you write that in there, though?
Hey, we're gonna go to this planet. It's barren that is barren of any kind of life, because all Star Wars planets are the same. They're all.
See, I'm already asleep. See, there was 1 second thing. Oh, it's salt. Now, my problem with that scene was the fact
they did that, and Gareth Edwards, who did Rogue One, was the guy next to him. But what I wanted to find out was, see, it's like, oh, we're going to this planet that's covered in salt. That's where you're not going to see wildlife, but we saw the crystal wolf thing.
That's fine. They were terrible. That was anime.
I have to say this movie
but
has
it made
been discussed on YouTube a lot. So.
It made me say like, oh, this isn't snow. Empire Strikes Back. So they don't want to like people saying it was like Empire Strikes Back.
That makes sense. I get it. My problem was just the actor didn't do a good job of saying the salt thing. That's why it stuck out so bad. Because like salt, and I was like, okay, dude, you could have delivered that. I had no problem with Rian Johnson because now that I realize it wasn't his fault. I mean, they set a bunch of stuff up in that movie, but they didn't have any idea where any of it was going.
I just said that.
No, you didn't. You said they set stuff up, and Rian Johnson says, I don't care anymore. But you're putting it on Rian Johnson. I'm putting this on Disney, or whoever is supposed to be in charge of Star Wars. They don't have a phage like in Marvel does, where he knows where shit's going. They don't have anything like that.
They'll probably redeem themselves in the next movie and tie stuff back together.
So they keep telling me.
Yeah.
But at least I got Rogue One out of these things.
It was fun. Whatever. Yeah, Rogue One way better.
Fucking
anyway.
better.
Someone to show me my place in all this.
It was way way too
Yeah.
long. Like, it was way too much for what they did over there.
But
And something that long
yeah.
should have had a payoff. And
Yeah,
it
no,
didn't.
I agree. I agree with you guys.
And it did not have a payoff. And that's what bothered me.
No, I agree with you guys. I agree.
All right, so Elizabeth, go ahead with your next film.
Okay, so since I could go on so long about favorites, the next movie I'm going to talk about is the one that I was super disappointed in, hated, I guess, hate is a strong word, but definitely disappointed, and that is Suburbicon. When I first saw the trailer for Suburbicon, I was excited. Coen Brothers wrote it, George Clooney directed it. I was like, cool. So it turns out, if any of you have seen that movie, that it is nothing like the preview at all.
Welcome to Suburbicon, a town of great wonder and excitement.
Hey there.
Built with the promise of prosperity for all.
Mickey, you need to get up. There are men in the house.
They had no idea what sort of tone they wanted to go with in the movie at all. They had no idea what kind of message they wanted to be, portrayed. There were elements of where you could see the Coen Brothers were trying to inject their humor into their writing, and then whatever they were trying to do, George Clooney just totally killed it as the director. I even read afterwards that there were a few funny parts that could have brought the movie closer to a normal Coen Brothers film that George Clooney elected to take out. And the result was just terrible.
Son, there's something I have to tell you. Those men killed your mom.
We've decided it'd be best if your Auntie Margaret came and stayed with us.
Mickey needs a mother.
We'll be strong. We'll be fine.
What would you do?
I would not have made that movie at all.
Oh.
Yeah, it was that bad. It was irredeemable.
There's
pretty
nothing
much.
about the plot that you could think you can change, or...
No, because the plot was nonsensical. I mean, they in the preview, if you remember, they kind of try and, make Matt Damon look like the...
Reluctant hero.
Exactly, thank you. Reluctant hero. Turns out he's just the total asshole father, murderer. Like, he's the villain. And then they have this whole side story of this a race issue going on that is not alluded to at all in the preview, is not really resolved, is just there, maybe as some sort of political, throw-in. I don't know what George Clooney was even trying to say, because he didn't accurately portray that message. It was terrible.
But you see, George Clooney's always been an uneven director. He's always been.
And I was trying, and I agree, I was trying to think of something that he had directed that I liked, and I swear there was something, but I couldn't think of it, and afterwards I just...
Leatherheads was one that he liked, and I didn't like it at all.
I really like Leatherheads, but that was about it.
I don't remember much about Leatherheads, but I do know, I can say I will never watch Suburbicon again, and I wish I hadn't wasted 2 hours of my life. And I'm extremely disappointed in the Coen Brothers for just allowing George Clooney to do this to their script, because they can make good movies. So that's my rant on that movie. Don't see it if you haven't already. It's terrible.
Alright guys, so what we're going to do now is we're going to split this up because we talked a little longer than we wanted to, so it's going to be 2 parts. So look forward to part number 2.
Part 2.
I don't know.
And then...